There we go. All right.
There we go.
Yes, welcome
Ahoo.
back to Built from Day One. My face and mouth and tongue are all red, and I think that's because there's absolutely no blood flow going through anywhere else in my body because I can't feel my hands or my legs. But what an incredible game. The Timberwolves came to play and beat a good team in the Heat. Now, the one thing I do want to say is that I hyped this game up because of Jimmy. Any Jimmy game is going to be like high emotions. The Heat are definitely a good team, and I'm not trying to like downplay the fact that they're a good team. But I think I was hyping it up as like, oh my gosh, we're going up against the best team in the league. When I think it was more of like, we're going up against Jimmy Butler, and it's personal. So but what a game. I mean, this is like the games you dream of to happen more times throughout the season, and likely will for us. You know, maybe it's not going to be Jimmy Butler as our opponent, but so exciting. I mean, this is one that we have to like celebrate. We have to enjoy. This is going to be a great show. If you like that Timberwolves win, you have to like the stream. You have to sub. You have to do it all, because holy cow, I'm on cloud nine right now, and I am gonna lose my mind at sometimes during this show. So if I'm more animated tonight, also some Heat rats got into my mentions on Twitter. So they got put in their place tonight. So sit down Heat versus haters, or whatever your stupid name is on Twitter. Anyways, 80,000 followers to my 300. Anyways, what were your thoughts on the game, Ashwin?
Udonis Haslem is a bitch.
Who tweeted out the thing about them having a fan fiction about the Heat fans having fan fictions about Udonis Haslem?
Yeah.
God.
Dude, I don't know what it was. Kind of a tale of two halves for Miami, but they were so reliant on Duncan Robinson because they had nothing going in the fourth. Tyler Hero kind of carried them in the third, and we couldn't make a shot in the second. And I feel like if we were just, 5 steps quicker in the second, this would have been kind of a close to a blowout, because we were pretty much dominating them in all aspects of the game, except for in that first quarter, which was, we can talk about that like in the breakdown or whatever of the players and stuff like that. But it was a weird, somber beginning of the game. And it was kind of like, oh, are we actually ready to play a 500 team? Are we ready to play a team that's far, like, probably better than coached and well groomed and vet laden and better passing, better everything than us? And it didn't look that way immediately. And could we respond? Could we close out on after the screens and stuff like that? And it was an incredible second half. Like, that third quarter is memorable, one for the books. And the way that we closed out the game was a little suspect, but then, Ant kind of was like, fuck this, I'm going to strip the ball from them and like take it on upon himself to close it out. It was great. That cat three from the top of the 3-point line was like, you could feel it when he made it, because he didn't do anything all game, literally nothing all game.
Yeah.
And he really wanted something in this game. And I really was happy for him, because he kind of had a miserable 3 quarters.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, you're right. Right out of the bat, it came out, and I was kind of concerned. We were winning. It was very similar to like some of the games that me and Maddie have gone to, and Maddie even said this during the game. She's like, this is one of those times where I look up at the scoreboard and I'm like, oh my gosh, how are we winning? Because we're not playing well. We were outcoached tonight. And there were a lot of players on the Heat. I mean, Duncan Robinson, known Timberwolf killer, but after he started killing the Timberwolves, he just started killing the entire league. But and then we have the Hero is seriously incredible, and he has obviously he's a great 3-point shooter, and he's got this weird kind of floater that Ricky Rubio would be jealous of, where it's kind of this like leaning like bank shot, but it works for him, and it's cool to see that for him. I'm just like, I have to like formulate thoughts, because I'm just so happy right now, and I need to calm down a little bit, because we are still only 18 games in the season, given we're 500 after an absolutely terrible stretch of games that brought us to 4-9. We have now won 5 in a row. The one thing,
when was the last time that's happened?
I honestly don't know. The last time we won 4 games in a row was when Jimmy Butler was on the team, I think. Wait, no, I think they said on TV, they said we won 5 games in a row in the Butler year. So yeah, I think crazy, that's when.
Right? But we're now like 500 versus Jimmy Butler. Last time we had a 5-game win streak was versus Jimmy Butler. or was with Jimmy Butler. We're on a 5-game win streak. I think I already said that. And I don't know, man. Like, the buzz is in the fucking air, man. That building was packed. That building was sold out.
It was sold out. I didn't believe it at first because they took all those Lifetime tickets away from us. Boycott Lifetime. But they were actually full, at least in the bottom level. A couple things to note that are top of mind for me on this game. 3 things really, but I'm going to just talk about the positive things and save the negative for the tier list. And you already know who I'm talking about. But the 2 things that were interesting to me tonight. So I don't know if you guys know, there's a kind of and I don't know if famous is the right word, well-known person on Twitter he's a Timberwolves fan. I have no idea other than this season who he is, but Jordan Dye. He's courtside at like every game. I don't know how he does it. Jordan, if you end up seeing this, hook me up. But he was the fan that was talking to Jimmy Butler during the game, where Jimmy went over and says, "What are you saying? What are you saying to me? Who are you talking about?" And then, so Jimmy Butler had his security go over to them, and then he was issued a card from the NBA that says, "Warning, you are being issued a warning card that the comments and gestures or behaviors that you have directed at players, coaches, and officials during the game are excessive verbal abuse and are in violation of NBA fan code." Who is softer than Jimmy Butler? Seriously, honestly.
Udonis Haslem.
Udonis Haslem. This is the first warning and only warning you will receive.
Dude,
what
are we gonna get warnings?
The hell? Yeah, that's insane.
So how did you know this? Did he like tweet that out and everything?
He tweeted it out. Yeah, I retweeted it on our thing.
Sad.
Incredible.
So sad.
He's also changed his name on Twitter. Instead of Jordan Dye, it is Jimmy Butler Daddy.
Just Google Jimmy Butler Daddy.
Yes, exactly. So that was
the first 5 things.
That was one kind of interesting thing. I don't really have anything else to say other than Jimmy Butler is incredibly soft. Soft. Mm-hmm. And just over, I mean, like, what are we talking about? Like, you need to, like, you're getting bothered by a fan in Minnesota. Like,
oh my God,
you played in Philadelphia. Like, you have to be like, I mean, your home fans were probably worse to you than your away fans here in Minnesota. But anyway, so that was just kind of an interesting thing. The other thing I cannot get off my mind, and that I still, even though we won, I can't calm down about. What the hell is the refs the whole night, but then also on the Ant dunk?
I don't get it.
I don't understand.
That was a dunk for the entire decade to like witness for life, and that's not even going to be on a top 10 play because it wasn't registered as anything but an offensive foul. Like, you took that away from us for like bullshit. First of all, all these like bullshit calls are always being called. It's these like, you know, jumping in front of a defenseless like leaper. That is so stupid. Those take fouls that happen all the time, and like, you know, I don't know, man. It's just like killing basketball, man. That happens not very regularly, but like when a person is defenseless, has left the fucking ground, you can just sprint in and still move and push off and get the call.
I know.
Like, fuck that.
What are we talking about? That was like the most. God. Also, it was so hyped in the arena. I wasn't there, obviously, but it was so hyped in the arena, and Dave Benz was going absolutely crazy, and actually didn't have too cringy of an Ant fact, but it was so crazy that, and the scorekeeper even had it as a bucket for a good like minute and a half after that, because it was so confusing. Because I was like, did they call it a foul? And then Jim Pete's like, I think they called it an offensive foul. But
and I couldn't even. I was like, how? Where? And then
I was
even
I was
to the replay.
I was jumping up in the air. I was like out of it. Like, I was like, you know, it's insane.
And they immediately inbounded it, and I was like, fucking A, Finch, just do an instant.
How? Yeah, exactly.
Instant challenge, because like, this is a pivotal moment, and actually it could have been. It could have been.
It could have been. That could have been the game right there. We don't have to worry about a couple Duncan Robinson threes or Tyler Hero going off, you know, where
they won like a 7-0 run or something.
Exactly. And you know, honestly, this is a pretty bad game for Finch overall. But you know, like the Finch, I think he was. I mean, like, he had a few pretty huge mistakes, especially in crucial moments. Like, the Ant thing alone is like, okay, what are we talking about? That has to be an instant challenge. You have to at least let the crowd marinate in that dunk. Even if it is an offensive foul, you have to let that happen. That's one thing. Two, he leaves Cat in the first quarter, in the first 6 minutes with 2 fouls. Cat, of course he's going to get a third foul. Of course we should blame Cat for that. We'll get to Cat at a point. But like that is a clear sign to take Cat out of the game. And then third, he takes a timeout, thinking he has 3 timeouts before the 3-minute mark, and it's only 2, so then we're left with only one timeout. Yeah. And it's like, those are like huge plays that greatly affected the outcome of the game. Luckily we won, but those are like pretty glaring issues. Not to say that I'm down on him, because I do like Chris Finch, and I think I've been up and down a little bit on him, but I'm settling to be like warm on him. So like I think he's going to be a great coach, and I think he is a great coach, but he did make mistakes tonight. They're crucial mistakes to me.
Coming into the game, the Heat were on the end of a back-to-back. The Heat are missing a few players, I feel, but more importantly, they're red hot. They are like red hot. Hero hasn't been like anything but like the 6th man of the year, like
I think he had 32 last night or something like that.
Yeah, and they've just been shooting lights out. We shot 55 times from 3 tonight.
And there were 30 of them were in like the first quarter or the first half.
We had in the first 5 minutes Cat get 3 fouls, and we had in the first like 24 minutes like Bam Adebayo going to the line 25,000 times.
Yeah. Which I will say, I will be different than a lot of people on Wolves Twitter. I do think a lot of those were fouls. There were some ridiculously like touch fouls that happen on the other side that don't get called. But for most of the fouls that I saw, they were, I guess, fouls. If it were called evenly, that's more of my issue. But I do think that a lot of the fouls on Bam were actual fouls.
Interesting. Yeah, so I'll definitely disagree with that. But also, we were down, I think, like 6 to 8 at half, and we didn't really turn over. We said, fuck that, this is our game. And we came in the third quarter swinging, and I loved what I saw. Literally everyone I saw. And like, without Beverly also. Beverly was a scratch after that. I think he had a groin injury or like a thigh injury.
We had 2 players lose their groins tonight.
Jeez. Right. And like, we were just not getting any calls. And usually those types of things leads to some small like assistant coach getting ejected, or like our, previously Kurt Rambis getting ejected or something like that.
Yeah.
And like we would just fumble. We would just literally fumble, and like the vets of vet laden Heat would just carry their way through a game like this. I was expecting Jimmy to just come alive in the fourth quarter, just take over the game, and all he was doing was deferring to Duncan Robinson. And holy fuck, I'll take Duncan Robinson shooting from wherever on the fucking court all day long, because he's not going to take over the game. He got hot, but he's not taking over any fucking game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, against the Timberwolves, I think it's possible for him to do that. He has very high confidence against us.
And this is a shout out to everyone kind of in the collective. Nas in the first half, Vando all goddamn game long, but I don't think we saw him much of the fourth. And then Jaden in the fourth.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yes.
Those 3 were huge, and then D'Lo being as crafty as hell, kind of like basically sealing the game with like 5-6 minutes left. He was like, let's not lose this lead. And really, really stout play from like all of our players, man. I've left out Cat here, but like Cat, despite his early game woes and maybe misfortune, like really just on the defensive end was just a body, and I was so thankful for him just to be like not overly aggressive, not gangly like he can be, and not like superfluous that he sometimes is. He just played very, very stout defense, got all the rebounds we needed him to do, and he was our big when we needed him to be. That was a big shout out to all those guys.
Oh my God, Matt Sexer. Sorry.
And then finally, we got a player that we haven't had in a long time come to shine tonight, and that was Malik Beasley, just on fire.
Oh my gosh. This is the, like, we don't win the game without each individual player, a lot of individual players, like Vando, obviously Edwards tonight, Russell, but Beasley is one of those players. He kept us in this game so many times when we were, especially when Towns was out in the first, like, and when Towns went out with foul trouble and then Beverly went out, he came in, and boy, oh boy, was he just huge. Um, I can't get over what Mass Dexter just said in the chat.
What did you say? Something about guppies?
No,
bubble guppies?
no. Well, the next one. It's interesting, but
I don't know. That took a while for it to get to me.
But anyways, yeah, no. This was just a fun game all around. I mean, we had a lot of effort from a lot of players. I guess we should probably just move into the tier list. Unless you had any other thoughts on the game as a whole before we get into that.
Nah, it's all good.
Let's get into the tier list.
Yeah. What are the 4 factors that we typically talk about, or that most commentating crew talk about? They talk about rebounds, steals, the turnovers in general, fast break points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe field goal percentage or something. We shot 55 threes. We were 90% from the free throw line. We out rebounded them. We out hustled them. We got out stole them, or whatever that fucking phrase would be. We had 10 more points in fast break. I think if we were to dissect this game, kind of how the flow of the game was,
Mm-hmm.
the fast break, the points off of turnovers, the way that we carried our way through and we weren't scoring on offensive sets is the difference in this game. We might be winning this game by 2 or 3, or not even, we'd be down by 5 with 2 minutes or 3 minutes to go, had it not been for points off of turnovers and how we carried ourselves through fast breaks. It was great to see.
It certainly was. You're right. So we had more points off turnovers, 25-20. We actually did have one more foul. We had less turnovers by 5. We had 5 more blocks than them. We had 4 more steals than them. And we had 11 more offensive rebounds than them. So pretty
7 of them by fucking Jared Vanderbilt.
Oh my gosh, Jared in the first quarter, man.
Yeah.
What the hell? That's incredible. I kind of thought that tonight was going to be a night for Vanderbilt to maybe cool off a little bit. And not to say that, because effort doesn't cool off. That's not what happens. But I just thought, the Heat were going to try to, get him out of the game and not let him do some of those effort plays that he does. Make Cat do them. Make, D'Lo. Not to say that these players are, non-effort players. But, D'Lo or Vanderbilt is just so much more of an effort player than they are. For good reason. But... it's just crazy to see that. But we'll get to Vanderbilt in a second. If you're new here, leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel. We do this after every game, and apparently we're going to have some good games this year. So I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by, Timberwolves Daily. And let's see, who else we got here? We got Brennan H. I don't remember that name. Welcome to the chat. Jake Erickson, Mass Xer, JJ's back. Godfrey's back.
Here.
We got the whole crew. Gerald Beckard, we got it all. Anyways, so we're gonna do
caboodle.
Yeah, we're gonna do something a little bit different for the bench players that didn't really do as much tonight. We're gonna try to talk about them just a little bit less because obviously we want to be talking about Cat. We want to be talking about Ant, D'Lo, Beasley, Vanderbilt, like we already have. But some of these lower tier players we probably don't have to worry about as much. So what Ashwin and I are going to do, it's kind of a fun game. Maybe it's just fun for us. But
I forgot.
Yes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to say the player. Chat, you can also play along. But I'm going to say the player. So I'm going to say Jordan Mclaughlin, who's going to be our first one up. And then I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and then we say a grade after 1. So 3, 2, 1, Wancho. No. But we will do that for the bench players. There's actually not that many. And then we'll kind of get into the top 5 or 6 players a little bit more in depth. So all right, let's start with Jordan Mclaughlin. Let me think real quick about his game. I remember. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Wancho.
Yes. Yes.
Stereophonics.
Yes. I was
he was so bad.
He was really bad. And I was
so bad.
Crying. I was like, get him out of the game, please. I don't want him in here anymore.
Absolutely. That was good.
That was perfect.
That's a good proof of concept right there. Because if we said something different,
yeah, I know.
I don't know what the people in the
yeah, that's when we start going to chat. We start having the conversations, But anyways, I agree. He had one absolutely mind-blowingly terrible pass. I don't know what he was thinking. He passed directly to the defender. It was insane to me. Anyways, I thought his minutes were terrible out there. I guess it's kind of maybe unfair to give somebody a Wancho tier on a win like this, but at the same time, I just really didn't like it, and I'd rather see Balmaro out there.
Let's go. Next one.
Yeah, you're right. I'm defeating the purpose of this. Torian Prince. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Wancho.
C.
What did you say?
Whoa.
C?
I said C.
Okay, I thought you said B. I was like, no. Well, I would be fair coming up to a D.
Well, then we'll just do that. We'll do the law of averages.
I like it because I think
don't lie.
He was launching a lot of threes in the beginning. Let's see, how many did he launch?
4.
4, but they just felt terrible. I hated him. So
well, he had one like super deep one, and
he did have
one
like, deep one.
While I wouldn't really need him and want him shooting, I think it was just to spell minutes for Jaden, who was in foul trouble, Vando, who needed a break, and we just needed someone else out there. And I thought he was just fine. He didn't do anything like out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
He made one shot. He was on the scoreboard. He didn't affect us negatively, really. He's one of the only negative players, I guess, plus minus. But I don't think that really tells the story of what he was doing out there. He wasn't really doing much.
Yeah.
But we were not asking him for doing much other than spell minutes for Vando and McDaniels, to be honest.
Yeah. Side note,
this game specifically.
Yeah. Side note on him, I kind of think that Taurean Prince might be a little bit of a dirty or chippy player. No. There's moments on the floor where he is jabbing at people a little bit more than I think is necessary. I don't know. I've just noticed
every team
it.
has players that do this and they get away with it.
Yeah, and
so
I'm not saying
we just have
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think he could be a great player to like stand up for a lot of people's and like do that. But anyways, hey, welcome back, Headshot. All right, next. So wait, did I put him there? Yes, I did. Okay. Next, Naz Reid. He played 16 minutes, 2 points, 6 rebounds.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready. Okay.
All right.
3, 2, 1, D.
C. Oh. All right. So why I call him a C is that he basically had to play the entire second quarter. Like, Cat got foul trouble and he had to play the rest of the first and second quarter. Like, he wasn't needed that much in the second half, nor I don't think that he played at all in the second half. Because Cat had 5 minutes in the first half, so he played the entire second half apparently. Looking at his minutes, and yeah, like he was just there, man, and he had a block that was awesome, and he just did his job. Apparently, his 3-point shot's not falling, and that's a concern. But he's not really out there to just chuck threes. He's out there to basically spell minutes for Cat.
That's
true. I think he did his job, and he's got a special place in our hearts, and so he can't really do a whole lot of wrong unless he does, and I don't think he did much.
Yeah, Gerald said he did keep us above water. I do agree with that. Mastexer says D. I think I can be talked into a C for tonight. So we'll move him up to a C. Also, on the fence, we go up if we win, down if we lose. Where is he? There he is. So he's our first C of the night, which, trust me, we're going to have some high grades tonight. We're going to have some very high grades tonight.
All right. Jaden McDaniels, you ready?
I am ready, yes.
All right, I'll count down.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
B.
C.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I'm ahead of you.
Now you talk about it.
So I thought Jaden started off bad because he's just getting all of his fouls again. He's doing, and these fouls are fouls. It's not like there's a couple. Well, Jaden is treated for these touch fouls insanely. Like, he is barely touching these people. It is a foul, but kind of like the ones I'm talking about on Bam. It's like, it's a foul, but like that doesn't happen on the other end of the court for us, like, ever, and I'm not talking about Cat because Cat's a totally different situation, but like, we don't get those calls. Ant doesn't get those calls. D'Lo barely gets those calls. So it's just but anyways, beyond that, I thought he played well. He made a couple shots tonight, which was nice. He had one play in particular that I won't forget where he ripped I think it was an offensive rebound away and put the shot back up and in. And I was like, whoa, Jaden, that's a Vando move. And if you're coming in for Vando to do that, yes, I like it. So I thought, similar to actually your reasoning for Nas, I thought he played... He stood up in the minutes that we needed him to be there. Given he did have all those fouls, I think he kind of held his own, or held enough,
Yeah, totally. And I think his fourth quarter redeemed himself in my eyes. I think it was a deep performance until the fourth quarter stint where, maybe he wasn't asked to do much offensively at all, but he had a kick-ass offensive rebound for a putback and late in the game, as well as the whole D all quarter on Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler couldn't even get going in the fourth, man. His entire aggressive bone was just deferring to fucking Duncan Robinson. It's like insane how they were completely unable to get anything going for Jimmy Butler in that fourth quarter. Yeah, and that's like a testament to Jaden McDaniels because he was playing with 5 fouls that entire fucking time.
Yeah, that's insane. That is insane. Yeah. Lots of D's and bones in the fourth quarter. Anyways. So yeah, are we saying B for him tonight then?
Yeah, totally. When we are on the fence, go with the higher one.
Sounds good. Happening. Okay. Where did we go here? Back up. So who's next? We've got. Oh, so we're on to Malik Beasley now. So
I don't know if I want to. I don't think I want to go to Beasley.
That's right. We'll do Beverly.
Beverly got injured and
basically did not play.
Did not play. So I feel bad because actually that was a big like pain point. I don't know what people fucking say that, and I'm like, it's in my head right now. A pain point for me because like Beverly was supposed to stop the heroes and the Butlers from getting off. So then like our starters could kind of rest easy on that end. But like now we didn't have him, so it's like okay, another another wrinkle in this storyline in the story arc. And well, we recovered, and I'm glad that we didn't have to rely on him, and I'm glad that he didn't come to play the second half because I'd rather have him healthy for a late season surge than anything that's like extraordinary for just one game.
And I was super excited to have Bev on the team because this is one of those games where you want a player like Patrick Beverley to get in the opponent's head, get things riled up, get the crowd into the game, because the crowd was interesting tonight. Even though it was a full house, it was very loud at times. Obviously, the threes at the end. Totally. Ant's dunk, that was a dunk, and it's going to count as a dunk in my books. But there was also plenty of moments where it was very quiet. And I don't know if that was just a TV broadcast or what, but it was just kind of back and forth. And I felt like if we would have had Patrick Beverley in that game to have his like crazy defensive, like pushing up on the defender type of plays, it could have kept the crowd a little bit more just as a flow kind of a thing. But anyways, that's me nitpicking on crowd noise. So anyways, Patrick Beverley, I'm just putting him in DNP just because he only played 5 minutes and we can't judge anything he did. So
let's go to Cat next.
Okay. I like that.
Let's do a grade together. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
D.
C.
Oh.
D.
Yes.
All right.
I think this was. So I guess I'll start. So I think this was. It was not as bad as it could have been. I think he had some plays that not redeemed himself fully, but I think getting 2 fouls that quickly into a game is an egregious error on his part. And I get that he thinks that they're not fouls, but both of those were fouls. He is moving. They're weak fouls, but they are fouls. And more than that, he wants to stay in the game. Finch wants to keep him in the game for some reason. And then he immediately picks up a third. That is just
literally seconds later?
It was like within a minute. It's just so glaring to me. It's like, oh, we're leaving him out there. Interesting. So Towns is going to do his like kind of Olay defense where he just lets people go by. And then instead he charges right into Kyle Lowry. So it's like, and it's not even like close. It's like these are obvious calls, It's just so frustrating to me. So that immediately pissed me off. He did hit that 3 late. I do think that his shot just wasn't on tonight. So similar to the praise that I give Ant a lot of nights when his shot's not on, he didn't take us out of the game with his shooting, trying to find it. So I think that's a good thing for him. But I just thought that overall this should have been a big game for Cat. And especially since they put Bam on him in a lot of situations, I thought that was the best case scenario. I was like, they're going to put somebody like PJ Tucker or even like try to like totally psych him out.
Robinson.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson, or even something crazy like Tyler Hero.
They had Gabe Vincent on him once.
Yeah. So it's like those situations I was worried about. So when they put Bam on him, I was like, oh my gosh, Cat can maybe cook tonight. And it just wasn't.
Totally. That. Yeah. So Bam on Cat, I don't think is a advantage for us unless Cat is perimeter focused. And I think there was a couple times where he was trying to back down Bam and couldn't get any space. There was a couple times where he was trying to post up and couldn't get any space. He was a decoy all night long when he was on the court, especially second half. And I'm kind of glad that like the D-Lows, the Ants, the Beasleys took the bulk of the shots because we weren't finding room in the paint to drive. We weren't finding that much space. We weren't getting to the line like the way that the Miami was. So we basically shut ourselves back in the game or took a lead. And then that opened up the court to drive. And that, that's a large part of Cat being on the perimeter, forcing Bam or someone to be outside. Right. So that's a lot. Like you saw Beasley create for himself, get a fucking layup or a dunk or whatever the fuck. That's like a direct result of Towns pulling the defender out and also just being there. But also, he didn't shoot himself out of the game, and he didn't like really shoot us in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and that three was very emphatic. I was very, very happy for him because all game long he wasn't doing anything. And a couple blocks later, he was really charged up. And he's a team high plus 21. You take that for what it is, because we had to basically overcome an 8-point deficit. And the Heat only scored 39 points in the second half, and Cat was up there for the entire second half.
That's true. No, that's true. And I think I am maybe overlooking some of his defense, but
oh, interesting.
But I think he had a couple blocks tonight, and I think he had. Oh yeah, I'm looking at headshots thing. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Plus minus for Towns.
Dude.
But yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't really have anything. I was just gonna say, the foul thing, the ability to contain his fouls in the second half was incredible to me. He also did have another pretty terrible timely foul, which was right after the bad Finch timeout. Coming out of that ATO, he immediately fouls, and I didn't actually get a clear look at that foul. So, and the way Cat was reacting that time seemed a little bit more genuine to me, like he couldn't believe that he actually got the foul. So I guess I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for that one, because the second half he played. I told Maddie, I was like, the minute the third quarter started, I was like, let's see how long it takes for Towns to get like a charge, like something totally ridiculous where it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he played within himself. He didn't get to pick up a foul until that play. Mm-hmm. So good for him. And we needed your size more than anything. We needed him to be big for us.
And Wild in the chat, Wild284 brings up a great point. The rebounding, yeah. So the rebounding at the end was so clutch, especially by Towns, because those are usually the ones that you're like expecting Vando to be getting, and Towns was getting up there, securing rebounds, two-handed. It was just like, oh my gosh, yes, perfect.
I was so worried actually about our size and our lineup in the fourth, because we didn't have anyone to really do the rebounding for us other than Cat. Mm-hmm. And if Cat wasn't doing it, like, you can't rely on Jaden, and Ant is getting those kind of like mostly easy ones, like the ones that fall high off the rim, right?
Yep.
He's getting those. And so Ant was doing a lot of those, and then Cat was getting the ones that counted the most in the fourth. Yeah. So, and it's because Vando wasn't out there, I was really scared, because Vando's the one who gets it, just as you said.
Yep.
And then Jaden was out there for purposes of totally like locking down Jimmy Butler. So yeah, it is a kind of like, we talk about one player, it kind of also resonates to other players being the reason why Towns is there. I think Towns deserves a C, because we really needed him, and I was fucking so jacked up. I was so frustrated when he got his third foul, being like, well, how are we getting points now, man? If like Ant isn't going right now, if D'Lo's not being aggressive, like where is the offense coming from? And I think this is going to transition to the next player.
Perfect
for us, which is maybe player of the game consideration, but Malik Beasley for me.
Yeah, I would agree. You want to do our grading for him?
Sure. 29 points. Oh, grading. And are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1. A1.
Ooh, I almost went A1. I could be convinced A1. I was gonna say
it's
A1,
an A1, and you can't say anything.
Yeah,
you can't say anything about it.
That's okay.
He's not asked to rebound. He's not asked to do anything, and he played lockdown D. He had a fucking block.
His defense was
crazy. He had a block on Tyler Hero. That was insane.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the line the most on our team, which is fucking stupid.
That is stupid.
And he, made his threes. He went to the line. Like, you can't ask for something that's so blatantly needed and desperate for a team like this who's struggling to score, especially with a big in foul trouble. One of our max players, our franchise like built around player in foul trouble on the bench. We needed something. We had something, barely going in the second quarter, and like he was a reason why we were still in the game, still competitive.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I guess I should have just said A1, because all the reasons that I'm going to say that he was an A is reasons for an A1. I mean, this is an unforgettable game for Malik Beasley. This is the game that we dream of having Malik Beasley. This is like when you're like looking in the postseason, you're looking at like making the Timberwolves roster and seeing like, oh, if everything goes perfect, how does this team end up? And this is the Malik Beasley you imagine when you're putting that roster together. Because if he is hitting 29 points, if he's 9 of 19 shooting as your shooting guard, alongside people like D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, and Karl Anthony Towns, like that is a like I know other teams are going to come in here and be like, oh, this is the Minnesota Timberwolves, blah, blah, blah. That is a legitimate team that is scary for any team in the league. And that's why what D'Lo said the other day post game, where he was like, I truly believe that like if we put our mind to it, like we can beat any team in the league. 100%. We have the talent to do that. It's just a matter of like, okay, how often are you going to execute, and how often is Malik Beasley going to go out for 29 points? Regardless, I'm kind of going on a tangent. A1 for Malik Beasley. Just incredible shooting, incredible defense, incredible driving, playmaking. You know, this was just a great game for him.
Yeah, underrated defense, actually. Something that you can't really quantify is all the pressure that he put on Tyler Hero, who could easily blow up in our face at any given second, every given moment. It's like, that's one of the purest shooters there is in the NBA right now. Mm-hmm. And he had to rely on a fucking like lean-in bank shot to score in the fourth quarter. Like, he wasn't getting any one iota from Beasley. So I love that. And Beasley was really trying to cover his man on D, and like, dude, that's gonna keep you on the court, man. If you can play D like that, especially when like a dude like Beverly's in foul trouble or an injured, or like Ant is in foul trouble and we need scoring from some direction, it's got to be from you. Yep. It's got to be from you. And he's showing that, hey, I hope you're not like a once in a 10 game situation. I hope this is more of a routine for you, Beasley.
Yeah, I do too. And I think it will be. I've said this all season. I think he's going to be better on as the season goes on, because he needs to warm up, get his legs underneath him. I think I'm not saying he's going to go off for 30 points every night, but I do think that we're going to see better shooting performances like he did tonight. And if we need to rely on him for more points, I think it's not impossible that he could step up in situations like that. So great night. Anyways, A1. But yes, Headshot. The Heat fans are so salty, and I'm so glad I got to call them out on my Twitter. Holy cow. I was like, man, please don't let all of my shit talking go to waste on Twitter. I need this to happen for once in my life, me being right about the Timberwolves. And so I even tagged these people because I was so ready to like shove it in their face. Anyways, sore winner, I know, whatever. But who do you want to do next?
Yeah, let's do D'Lo.
D'Lo, okay.
37 minutes, 20 points plus 9, 2 blocks, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. 6 assists. I couldn't say that out loud. Apparently, I couldn't say it without mumbling. All right, I have a grade ready. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1. A. Nice.
I knew we were gonna have that one. I don't even
know if we have to talk about it.
Not really. It was just so solid.
He was becoming one of our most like consistent players. Like, maybe take out the shooting. Mm-hmm. He's always bringing it on the defensive end. The stats that he's not getting, like, I'm witnessing the ways that he's boxing out on the low block, the way that he's pushing the offensive players in their like not getting their comfort zones, the way that he's zoning. The zone is really going well for him. And like, dude, like, some very crafty, like, just pick and pops and like stealing from the baseline, or kind of like playing like surveying like a safety, and then even like that, like, off the leg of Hero kind of deflection. Oh, it's so great to see that, because D'Lo, you're gonna have to find your offense somehow in the flow of the game, not necessarily by taking over the game. And the way he found it was getting in the line, getting those 3-point shots to fall late in the game, the middle of the fourth quarter rather, and just being an overall just general out there. It was great. Yes,
he was just great tonight. He's been similar things that we've said. Like you said, we probably don't have to go on too much about it, but like as he's been the last few games for us, the last 5 games that maybe longer, he's just been incredible. He's been, when he's out there, the team feels right. And I was very sad to see Beverly go down, because I'm like, oh, that means when D'Lo goes out, we're in trouble, because Beverly obviously is not going to make up for D'Lo, but like, he can do different things on the court that can keep us afloat, whereas like when we have Little Mac come in, it's sometimes not so cohesive. It's weird, because there's been games where he comes in, where Mclaughlin comes in, and he just is able to like be somewhat of, like you said, a floor general. Not that he's like a shooter that can really do anything like that, but there's times when that has happened, but it's just not been there as of the last like 3 or 4 weeks. So just a great game from D'Lo, and like you said, if the stats aren't there, we saw it with our own eyes. So I loved how you said that. So he is A tier. Did I already put him there? I did. Perfect. So we are on to the last 2 players, or no, last 2. Yes, last 2, and the namesake of this show. Built from day one. Vanderbilt from day one.
Dude.
Anthony Edwards and Jared Vanderbilt. We should probably
combined combined 29 fucking rebounds.
That's insane. Oh my god, 8 at 14. Holy cow.
Combined 41 points. Combined 7 fucking steals. My god. Ant is a god. Vando is a god.
Keep in mind, this is a legit team that we're doing this to. This isn't like the Grizzlies or somebody else that is like.
Dude, but coming into this game, we were playing 4 or 5 games in a row where like we're blowing out teams by 20, and this is like a over 500 type of team. And you know,
well, they were 12-6 coming in this game, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and like we lose to the Suns, we lose to the Warriors. But we were picking up some like, you know, positive momentum building into a 5-game win streak. And like this game is coming. This game was circled from the very fucking start of the season for me. And you know, I was wanting to see in 20 games, can we be something? I'm so happy right now. We are something. We're not nothing. We're not nothing. We're not tanking for scrawny ass, no muscle Chet Holmgren right now.
Yeah, what that move that he did on Twitter last night was like comical. Anyways,
it was awesome.
It was awesome, but it is comical. It just makes me think of Kyle Anderson slow-mo. I can't like handle it. But anyways,
makes me think of Pokasevsky.
That too. Yeah, that actually is way better analogy. Yeah. But anyways, do you want to do them individually or do you want to grade them together?
Sure. Let's do Vando first. You ready?
I'm ready.
I feel like we're gonna be on the same page here. 3, 2, 1. A1. All right. Cool. We don't have to say anything. Like he's literally doing everything that's been asked. Oops. And he's the Energizer Bunny. If you like Jim Pete said last game or the game prior, if you just had like a fucking 6th camera that's just focusing on Vanderbilt, you're gonna get a fucking headache because he sees us running from back and forth, back and forth. Like he was on the ground on one play after like an offensive rebound attempt, and then he ends up getting the defensive rebound like seconds later. He's the last one out there. It's insane. He reads the ball really well, how it ricochets off the rim. But also, most importantly, he's just literally able to guard 1 through 5. And so he was guarding Lowry. He's guarding Butler. He's guarding fucking Hero. And he's the big when we're in foul trouble and we're like looking for a minute to spell, right? Yeah. He's our big. He's like literally everything for us. We need players like him. And especially when Beverly goes down, he's doing double duty. And he did.
Yeah. He
Sorry
did.
If I'm shouting. I feel like I'm shouting.
No, I thought I was shouting at the beginning of this show, and I had to like look at my microphone to make sure that I wasn't. We're good. We're good on the shouting. We're good.
Sorry everyone if I am.
But yeah, just
Chet versus Paolo's happening.
I am very excited. I didn't realize that, and I want to watch that now. But just because I need to see them in like a game, I can't just watch highlights anymore because highlights just show people making buckets, and it's like, how can I gauge how you're going to be in the NBA off of a 2-pointer, you know, like I can't, or the shorter 3-point line, whatever. But Vando, an incredible game. Again, we only had 24 minutes from, which is kind of wild. He did have foul trouble. He had 5 fouls, so I guess that's the only downside to his game tonight. But this is how he has to play. This is how he is going to play. He's going to be aggressive. There's going to be games where he gets called for 5-6 fouls, and he plays the same way that he does tonight. And he could get 0 fouls in the next game, and I mean he won't be. He'll get fouls, but like he could get like 2 or 3 fouls in the next game and play the same exact way. So this is just Vando. This is what we dreamed of Vando, and God, I love Vando. This is just an A1 tier.
Yeah, our team is not a team without glue guys that do the dirty work because so much of our volume shooters are on the offensive end that are blowing us away on defensive end, and they're buying into the glue guys. They're doing the work, that picking up the slack that maybe, you know, when our guys like Vando and Beasley go a little over aggressive. Rarely am I seeing a complete, like, you know, fuck up on the defensive end these days. Like something's going on right now in the Wolves locker room where Vanderbilt's like leading the charge, where Beverly's like, this is what we're doing. You know, like, I don't know, man. It's like to have those kind of like leaders and followers, and like you just can't do anything but be proud for your teammate and for your comrade, your companion, but also just like you got to play with the same energy. Otherwise, you know, like, why are you on the floor?
Yeah, no. And it's interesting because Josh didn't get any minutes and he was active tonight. People on Twitter seem to be very pro playing Josh Okogie tonight to like keep Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson in check. And I thought that was kind of interesting because obviously Josh is a defensive player, but I mean, Josh is, I don't want to say he's been a shell of himself this season, but like he's had some injury concerns and it's been an up and down season for him so far. He's had a couple games where it's been better, but I mean, with Vando and Jaden out there, I just think their length because like Josh is like what 6'4", 6'5" or something like that. He has long
yeah.
arms, but
he's like 7'1" arms.
Yeah, but like having Jaden and Vando out there, but they're just both so much taller and they're quick, you know. And I'm not saying Josh isn't, but you know, it's just like those guys are out hustling and outplaying Okogie right now, which is fine. And that's what you want. Just like you're saying, like we want to have this kind of battle for like, okay, well, if Vando and Jaden are going to be the ones that are given the most effort, perfect. But anyways, don't need to talk about Josh Okogie. He's probably, by the way, Headshot pointed out in the chat that we are now the 8th seed, and given that we beat the Lakers, we are now above the Lakers in the West.
Oh my gosh.
Almost 20 games into this, almost a quarter of the way through the season, and we are ahead of the Lakers.
1 game suspension for LeBron. Eat me. Eat me.
This is your personal beef with him. I'm going to let you guys settle that.
1 fucking game. All right.
Anyways. But yeah. Let's see. So we are on to one of the players of the game. Anthony Edwards. He played the whole game, basically. 43 minutes. I was so surprised to see him come in after 30 seconds into the fourth. He sat on the bench for the between the third and fourth, and then he came in with 30 seconds later. I was like, oh my god! But 33 points, 14 rebounds, as you noted earlier, 6 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 13 of 27 shooting, 6 of 15 from 3. He did have 4 personal fouls. He did have 5 turnovers, but holy cow! We're going to 3-2-1 it, and we already know. But 3, 2, 1. A1, thank you. Okay, I thought you were
nice. We're a little delayed. We're going to have to watch each other next time because I wasn't looking at you. I was typing.
I saw you typing. I wasn't sure if you were going to say anything.
A1, my friend. Where Butler is and isn't on the court, Ant is always on the court. Like, Ant will never see a shot he won't want to take, and that's usually a recipe for a disaster, but he can get hot at a moment's notice, and he will close out games for us. He will take over games for us. He will literally dunk on top of your fucking players for us. And, like, he wants this for himself, but he wants this for the fucking team, man. Like, he feels like everything is genuine with him in terms of, like, what he's feeling and how he's, like, grinding out these games. And, just Herculean effort from him, because boy, we didn't have our star player out there and we needed some offense, and it's coming from a second-year player who we shouldn't actually be relying on to score 20, 25 points a night, and we are kind of relying on him to do so. And he's doing so in spades, man. Like, there's some times where he's not able to get his game going, but he's not going to get in the way, and when he's on, and he's not seeing nothing but the rim. And man, like, yeah, just incredible game from him. And we're so fucking blessed. We're so lucky to have him.
We are. This is one of those games where the NBA is going to take notice. And this is, I like that. People are going to see this. I mean, a lot of times people notice stat lines before they start to actually pay attention to a player's play.
Yep.
They're going to see his dunk tonight that should have counted, that did count. And it's just going to be, it's going to be a wake-up call. And obviously he still has to prove that he can be super, super consistent. But, I mean, this is the type of game that I think we can expect. And again, quick reminder to everyone, he is 20 years old. He is 20. And he is doing stuff like this on a nightly, every other night kind of basis. This obviously is a little bit more special. Again, 1, being against Jimmy Butler, and 2, just being in a really important game for us. I think this game in general, it's just going to be one of the more important games throughout the season for us. Because if we lose this game, then it can kind of be put as like the team morale might kind of change into something more like, oh, well, we just played 4 bad teams and won against 4 bad teams, and then we lose against the Heat, who are the first real team that we play. But instead, we win. And not only that, we win emphatically. We have almost, I mean, other than Cat, I guess, have everyone go off and just absolutely put on a massive performance that I will never forget that Lifetime took this game away from me.
Also, that's sad, man. Like, you could have been at that fucking game.
I could have been at this game, and that would have probably been the best game that I've ever been to. I think I can't think if I've been to any. I've been to good Twins games. I've been to game 163. I've been to a couple other like big games, but but I have not really been to that many good Timberwolves games, so it would have been so fun to be at this game. But I'll be there for the Pacers.
Yeah, they give you the shit teams.
They did, yeah,
or scrappy teams. Yeah, this would have been a great game to be at. I'm not gonna rub it in, I guess, but damn, you've been there most of the season, so incredible. I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, that's it from us. I feel like you want to look at the kind of the pipeline, what's coming down for us, because I think we have another game on Friday against the reigning Rookie of the Year, LaMelo Ball, and the Michael Jordan Hornets.
Oh, that's right. I forget that's the Michael Jordan team. Yes, I think.
What up, Ronaldo?
Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, headshot, boycott lifetime. But yeah, I think
that, right?
I think we have a couple other big games coming up. Obviously, this is a huge one for us to win. But the Hornets is a good one because I think I said this a little bit in the last show, but I think Hornets are somewhat of a team that you can kind of look at and you might underestimate how good they are because they're not bad. They're not a top team, but they're not bad. They're probably pretty similar in like at least standings wise to like the Timberwolves. But I think it's something that the Timberwolves need to make sure that they don't go into that game with a lackadaisical kind of offense or a lackadaisical kind of like game plan. You know, they have to come in with the same preparation that they did versus the Heat, maybe less emotion. I know there's the whole like free game. But Christian, I didn't realize what was happening. I think if we can, like, there's people are gonna make this an Ant versus LaMelo thing. Who
cares?
I just don't care because I like both players, and also the other thing is that Ant and LaMelo like each other. Yeah, like they're posting each other on Instagram and stuff like this. So like they're like it's no beef.
Oh yeah, they are for sure.
Yeah. So it's like whatever. I don't know, but I'm excited for that.
Friday we got the Hornets. Saturday we got the fucking Sixers, and apparently Embiid is
coming back just to do that. Yes, he's coming back just so he can go up against Towns and get dunked on again.
That's theater. That's theater, man.
These are going to be huge. I mean, these 3 games, the Heat, Hornets, and whoever the last team, the 76ers.
Yeah,
I think it's just going to be a huge stretch for us to really prove who we are.
Yeah, for sure. What are we? We're a 500 team right now. That's what we are.
And that's what we wanted to be. That's all we wanted. That's all we asked for coming into the season. So I'll take it. I'm super happy. I don't need to go on and on. I could go on and on. I could probably talk about an hour about Ant's dunk being taken away, which I am still just so heated and angry at. But anyways, that is the dunk of the decade. That is better than the Antanabi or whatever. Watanabe dunk.
Antanabi? Oh, I like that.
It's better than that. That if I would have been in Target Center for that, I probably would have fainted. I would not be. I would be in a hospital because I would not I would have missed the rest of the game. So I guess it's probably good that I was there. But yes, 52 win team. But anyways, we will be back Friday night. I think I am free Friday night. I have to double check, but I do believe I'm free Friday night. And then Saturday night, I think I am free because it's an earlier game. So yeah, I can probably do that. So I will be free for both of those. If you're new to the stream, leave a like, subscribe. We do this after every game, and apparently, like I said, I mean, if games are like this, man, we're gonna have some really good shows. So I appreciate everybody coming by. Yes, have a good Thanksgiving. You have any final thoughts?
5 games in a row, baby.
5 games in a row. Go call Rachel. That's the show. I appreciate chat. Everybody was here. There's a huge show tonight. I appreciate everybody for stopping by.
Yeah.
I appreciate the likes on the stream. I appreciate the subs.
Yeah, thank you all.
And yeah, we will see you next time. As we always do, tradition. We're playing the intro as the outro. See you Friday night. Bye-bye.